Hey everyone, I'm attorney Justin Lovely, and I'm here with another edition of the Carolina Justice Report. Today I'm here with my associate John Paul Simkovich. He runs our Charleston office out of Mount Pleasant. Just got done with a workers' compensation deposition, and we thought, hey, let's sit down and kind of discuss the workers' comp topic while it's fresh on our minds here. John Paul, how's it going, man?
Doing well.
You're a first timer.
I am.
Yeah. So this is great. It's the Carolina Justice Reports, our podcast, as you well know, and we got a lot of people who watch this on social media. Again, if you like it, like and follow us on social media. Follow us on TikTok. Shield out for the law firm there. But let's talk about. Well, before we get into workers' comp, John Paul, tell us about yourself. What's your background? Of course, I know, but let our listeners know where you came from.
So, grew up in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Went to law school at the University of South Carolina. Clerked for a judge here in Conway, up in Myrtle Beach for a year, and then dove into the defense world. I was working for Wilson Jones, Carter & Backstate's big workers' comp defense firm, then worked for another big insurance defense firm until I, quote unquote, saw the light and joined your practice. So, enjoyed actually representing injured folks rather than the insurance companies.
Right. And you bring a unique perspective because you've seen how they deny, devalue, delay treatment. And you're really, since you've been doing this for the last year or so, you're trying to understand the injured person's plight, right?
Oh, 100%. You know, I saw the tactics of the insurance companies, know how they're going to do exactly what you said, devalue a case, undermine it. So I like to think that I can kind of cut that off at the pass and streamline our cases, get results for our clients.
Right. And you've definitely done that. And we appreciate that. The clients definitely appreciate that. And it's it's a good piece to the Lovely Law Fimr arsenal. We love it. So let's talk about workers' comp just generally. And I've shot other videos and our followers have heard me talk about this, but we just want to get your perspective as well. But when the workers' comp system applies in South Carolina, what do you think if someone's hurt on the job? What do you think? What should be the first three things, if you can think of the top three, that they should do?
I mean, number one, report your injury to a supervisor, the owner, HR, someone superior to you. Right. You only have 90 days to report your accident. If you don't report your injury, then the defense firm or the insurance company can tell you that you don't qualify and it's not going to be accepted. So definitely report your injury. If you do that, they should send you for medical treatment. If they don't, you need to get checked out, get evaluated. If you don't have a primary care physician, go to a doctor's care and make sure you get the treatment that you need. Mm-hmm. So those are the primary things you should do. And then call an attorney. Hopefully this would be your first work accident. You've never had to navigate the system. Even if you had, it's not an easy thing to do. Other attorneys that don't do workers' comp, they don't know how to handle workers' comp. It's a unique set in a whole niche area of the law that you need someone qualified to actually handle for you.
And people are so scared and threatened, and they may even be actually threatened by their employer when they get hurt. And if they're living paycheck to paycheck, this is a real shock to the system. So yeah, I agree with you. You got to report it. Because if you don't report it, it's game over. How often, when you were a defense lawyer, did that defense pop up? Did you ever see late claims and then?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was always an argument. Who knew? How they knew? When did you report it? And what happens is someone, you tweak your back, you think you're going to get better, you keep working, you're in pain, and then you reach that, 2 weeks later you go, man, I just can't do it. Well, if you let that draw on after 90 days. They're going to hammer you and say no claim. An insurance adjuster is going to say, this didn't happen. You hurt your back at home. You hurt your back moving furniture. That's not true, but you've already set yourself in a hole.
Right.
So go ahead and report it and get that doctor to document that, yes, this actually happened at work. Tell them that this injury happened at work. So it's in the medical records and you can have verifiable proof.
Now, talking about the medical treatment, you said make sure that you go to the doctor. What would you say to these people who they're like, man, I don't have health insurance? What would you say to them?
Well, your main option would be go to the emergency room, right? They have to see and treat you at the emergency room. You can also call an attorney like us, and we can help, get file the claim and get action for you as swiftly as possible.
And what normally happens is when they do make the call to the Lovely Law Firm, we get retained. We will dig into this issue with them, and magically we can get them to pick up the claim and pay for that treatment.
It's pretty funny how quickly once that attorney gets involved, how the insurance company starts doing what they're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
So don't try and navigate a claim by yourself. Get the help you need.
Okay, so what if you're hurt at work, and let's just use a shoulder for an example. Maybe you use your shoulder every day. Maybe it's a job where you're lifting every day, and you hurt your shoulder, but you're not sure if it's from your job or not. What would you advise to those kind of people?
Okay, so I mean, what you're describing sounds kind of like a repetitive trauma, where you're doing the same activities, you're lifting heavy objects every day, and over time your shoulder starts feeling worse and worse. Once you start feeling to the point that, hey, something's not right, go ahead and report it. When I say report it, tell a superior, tell them I'm having shoulder issues. It's because of the job. The longer you let it linger, the harder it is for you to actually get the benefits you need.
Because they're going to look back and they're going to say, well, hey, this didn't happen on the job. This was a pre-existing, and that's a fight that we have in a lot of our cases.
Yeah.
But we're still, it is a fight, and sometimes we'll have to have a hearing. But I mean, if it's worth filing, we'll get it filed and get the compensation for the client.
Sure.
So, what if we had this conversation pop up with a couple clients? What if we're dealing with like a mental injury, PTSD, or depression, anxiety, and those are tough claims, but could those be compensable?
They can actually. You mentioned earlier I was in a deposition. We just had a similar issue this morning. So there's two type of mental claims. One is because you injured a body part, and that injury is the pain, the frustration of being out of work. You're not getting the same income that you did to provide for your family, the stress and everything associated with your injury. You start developing probably depression or other mental symptoms. That is compensable. When I say compensable, meaning that is the medical treatment will be covered by the insurance carrier, the workers' comp insurance carrier. The second type of mental claim is if you're in such a extraordinarily stressful environment, high and above what the routine stresses of the day, you can actually develop mental issues.
Right.
And if you're put under extreme mental stress because of that, that's also a compensable claim.
Yeah.
So again, that's something that you need to document and report.
And documentation is so important because they're going to fight us on those tooth and nail all the way to the end a lot of times.
Yes, those kind of any kind of claim that involves a mental health issue, the insurance carrier is going to fight you every step of the way.
Which is ridiculous, right? Because the PR in the world, mental health is starting to be a bigger thing, but that's definitely a part of it because these people are working for their employer. When they get hurt, they're not getting their full wages. They're getting 2/3 of their average weekly wage,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so if you're a breadwinner and you suffer an injury, and then of course there's going to be mental issues, right? And the worry and everything that you have to go through, your bodily injury plus this, I mean, it's a big issue.
Undeniably, and it's the inability to get back to work, provide for your family. You have the stress of your employer, the fear of losing your job, which you shouldn't. We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
And basically people discounting the fact that you're actually injured, which is incredibly frustrating, and it takes a toll on the stress and your mental health. So it is encouraging that there's some more light being shed to the mental health issue of recent, but it's still a constant challenge, and the mental health issues last. You don't snap your fingers and get cured.
Yeah.
There's no surgery for depression.
And the big takeaway that I've heard you say, and I want to just reinforce, is make sure you tell your doctor, okay, so that it's in the medical records. Because what JP says, what Justin says, what the client says doesn't matter. But what the doctor says, or the authorized treating physician says, that's going to be gold if we have to go in front of a commissioner.
Exactly right. So the doctor is who basically, makes or breaks your case, and most of the times with workers' comp, it's their opinions. You and I aren't doctors. We've seen plenty of medical records and kind of can guess what the injuries are of our clients. But like you said, we argue on behalf of our clients, but we don't offer, outright medical opinions. So your doctor's the one that will listen to you. You need to report all your injuries and don't discount them. Don't be stoic.
Right.
You know, that's not the time for manning up, quote unquote. You need to be honest. This is how I truly feel.
Right.
This is the pain I'm in. And if you do have a mental health condition, these are really the issues that I'm facing. And you need to admit it and be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So what if, and this happens in our case, people don't realize they have a claim. We've seen these in our caseloads. But what if the claimant is worried, or the injured worker is worried that it was their fault?
Okay, so that's a good topic. There is no fault in workers' comp. As long as you are in the course and scope of your employment and an injury occurred, then you're entitled to workers' comp benefits. It doesn't matter if you caused the accident. Say you're driving for your employer going somewhere, and admittedly through your own negligence, you rear-end someone and you get injured. Well, in a motor vehicle accident, we know that you might be found at fault, but with workers' comp, you still broke your arm, you still hurt your shoulder or hurt your back, neck. You're still entitled to benefits because you're doing something to help your employer. You didn't set out to get in an accident that day. So there's no negligence in workers' comp as long as you were injured in the course and scope of your employment, which means you're just helping your employer perform the duties of your job, something to their benefit.
Right, right. Now, what if, and this could be for our clients as well, what can mess up the claim, I guess?
There's a few things. If you do have a pre-existing injury or ailment, you need to let your employer know when you start employment. That only really happens if they ask you. If you had a pre-existing back injury, they ask you if you had a pre-existing back injury and you didn't tell them, and then you aggravated on the job, that could create some issues. Not reporting to a drug test. Always want to report to a drug test. Even if you do test positive for marijuana or something of that nature, a lot of times we can still get your claim accepted and paid. The insurance company has to prove that you're actually under the influence of a drug or alcohol or something at the time of the accident. So refusal to take a drug test can be a bigger problem than actually testing positive.
Right.
Obviously, we want you to not test positive, but it's not necessarily the death of your case. The other thing is horseplay or an action that you take. If you get in a fight with another employee and get hurt, then it won't be compensable, meaning that you're not entitled to workers' comp benefits. So those are the three biggest things, and just not reporting to your supervisor in time.
Yeah. And again, like you said, we can overcome, but if you got to help yourself by making that report, or there's not much we can do as your lawyer.
Exactly.
So one more topic, and then we'll shut you down for today. But what if a worker, they're hurt on the job, they've tried to do it on their own, and maybe got some medical treatment, but they're still hurt, and then their claim is denied, or they're getting ghosted by an insurance adjuster or their employer?
Well, we see that a lot. I feel like everyone, you get hurt at work, they start providing you. Maybe they'll start paying you temporary compensation payments weekly. Maybe they won't, or they'll send you to a doctor. You think everything's on the up and up, everything's going smoothly. You need that MRI or you need that surgery, and you keep calling, asking to get it set, and just nothing. You're sending emails, not getting a response. Phone calls aren't going answered. That's when you call us. And like we mentioned earlier, once an attorney calls the other side, stuff starts acting, because if stuff starts moving. Because if it doesn't, we're going to file for a hearing, go in front of the South Carolina Workers' Compensation Commission, and get a commissioner who acts like a judge to order that treatment to be provided, those payments to be provided. And if they don't, and the insurance company's acting in bad faith, then we'll pursue fines, penalties, sanctions, whatever is necessary. Obviously, we don't want to have to do that, but if we need to protect our client's interest, most definitely.
And the biggest thing for injured workers out there, and this is a good way to end it, is don't give up. Okay, if your claim has been denied, we can help, and this is what we do here. JP and I handle the workers' compensation cases here at the Lovely Law Firm. Again, make sure you report it, get the medical treatment that you need, and then give us a call. Let us get our workers' comp team working on it for you. This is a good way to stop. This is the Carolina Justice Report. Again, I'm attorney Justin Lovely. This is John Paul Simkovich. If you're hurt in Myrtle Beach or Charleston, call us. We handle all on-the-job injuries. We'll talk to you for free, let you know how we can help. And again, like us we're on TikTok, Instagram, see us on YouTube, follow us on the website, anywhere you consume your social media, we're going to be there. We'll see you next time.
Life gets